Have you ever felt as if your existence is a part of something far larger, a story that began before birth and will not conclude with death? What if each hardship, delight, and lesson you learn is part of a larger journey, one that lasts a lifetime? Consider Earth to be a big classroom, with each incarnation serving as a new grade, teaching you important lessons for your soul's progress. But what happens if we do not learn? Are we bound to make the same mistakes over and over? Is there a method to graduate to a higher level of being?
The superior man expands his vital energy and consciousness from the body to all space.
Reincarnation is the soul's journey through many earthly lives, as if they were classes in a school, before graduating into the immortal perfection of oneness with God.
Deep and prolonged meditation allows the devotee to convert the consciousness of the material body into that of the astral body.
Souls that exist in an imperfect condition, unaware of their divine identity with the Spirit, do not immediately achieve a state of realization of God after the physical body dies. We are created in the image of God, yet by identifying with the physical body, we have inherited its flaws and limitations. We cannot become gods again until we free ourselves from the imperfect human sense of mortality. A prince escaped his palace and took sanctuary in the slums. Because of his inebriation and association with persons of questionable character, he progressively lost sight of his true personality. He had forgotten he was a prince until his father found him and brought him back to his palace. Similarly, we are all offspring of the King of the universe who have strayed from our spiritual home. We have been imprisoned in human bodies for so long that we have forgotten our divine origins.
The work of a guru consists in leading, through the evolutionary thrusts of Christ intelligence, all creatures into conscious union with God.
Every time we came to Earth, we developed new flaws and wants. As a result, we return here repeatedly until we have satisfied all of our desires or have banished those desires via the development of our understanding. We must satisfy our cravings, or, by acquiring wisdom, eradicate them completely. Few people, however, break free from the cycle of life and death by attempting to satisfy their needs. It is in the nature of desire that every time it is satisfied, the insatiable drive to repeat the experience only tightens its grip, especially if the mind is weak. Note: the yogi joined with God, having abandoned attachment to the benefits of action, achieves unwavering tranquility due to self-discipline. The man who is not united with God is governed by desires. Due to such attachment, he remains a slave. Bhagavad Gita 5:12. End of note. It is preferable to satisfy little, inconsequential cravings because this allows us to get rid of them. However, it is vital to proceed with caution and discretion. Otherwise, even minor cravings can return stronger, reinforced by experience. People who want to drink, for example, frequently reason in the following way: today I'll drink as much as I want, tomorrow I'll do without it. Repeating this experience multiple times frequently results in the formation of a habit, which is difficult to break. The same thing can occur with any other desire. God is not a dictator who has brought us here and told us what to do. He gave us free will, the ability to do whatever we wish. We often hear about the significance of being good. But if it's true that we all go straight to heaven after death, as some claim, what's the use in attempting to be decent while we're here? If the prize at the end of our lives is the same for everyone, why not be greedy and selfish, especially since the path of evil is frequently the simplest? It would be pointless to emulate the lives of great saints if, following death, we were all transformed into angels, good or bad. On the other hand, if God had decided in His plan that we all go to hell, it would still be meaningless to worry about our actions in this life. And what purpose would it serve to govern our behaviors if our lives were like cars that, once old, are tossed into the junkyard and are no longer useful? If human existence is all there is, reading the scriptures and exercising self-control are worthless. The value of time. However, if life has a greater purpose, how can we reconcile the apparent injustice of a stillborn child? What about people who are born blind, disfigured, or live only a few years before dying? Only those who live long enough have the opportunity to resist innate tendencies and erroneous desires and strive to be good. If there is no other option in a future life, for the child who dies at 6 months, why would God give that infant a mind but not enough time to fulfill its potential? The factor of time is critical to our advancement. A single life may not be long enough. If a kid dies prematurely, there is a purpose for it. And because they did not have enough time in life to develop their full potential, whether human or divine, they will be given another chance. Such an individual is analogous to a sick boy who is unable to attend school. The boy does not quit school indefinitely. He will return as soon as he is cured to resume his lessons where he left them. That's the way life is. If we do not get the opportunity to learn our lessons in this life, we will have opportunities to learn them in future lives. When you can look behind the scenes, you will understand that life on earth is a puppet show. It appears genuine to us right now, but in a few years, what we are experiencing will seem like a dream. And if someone had told us 5 years ago what we are going through now, we would have thought it was impossible. Last Sunday, the majority of you were sitting in various locations across the temple, thinking about other things. Today, we see a different show. Consider how many people you've known who have since passed on from this life. The idea of life as a dynamic and transient spectacle is not pessimistic. It should teach us not to take life too seriously at all. Maya, the cosmic illusion, makes us feel as if the body is a genuine and necessary part of ourselves. However, death can rip the body away from the soul in an instant, and the separation is not painful. When the operation is finished, you no longer require time, clothes, food, or shelter, because you no longer have to carry the weight of flesh with you. You are free of it, and you are still yourself. Have you ever investigated why this truth is hidden, or where the millions of individuals that have fled our planet may be now? Have you ever pondered if we are like so many chickens in a coop that, when removed, are replaced by more chickens? Is there no way of finding out? What we become in the future life is determined by how we live this one. We have been given the ability to discern our destination and origin through thinking. However, we do not devote enough time to self-analysis and life reflection. If we did, common sense would tell us that our existing character will remain the same after death, perhaps slightly better or worse, depending on how much effort we put in to improve. You go on 365 days a year, year after year, and you may have made some improvement, yet your nature will remain the same before and after death. You will not become an angel simply because you died. Only the body changes. For the rest, death has no meaning. Death is like a gate that you must pass through. Your body will no longer exist, but everything else will remain same. If you have a violent personality, you will not leave it with your physical body when you die. Your aggressive tendencies will remain with you until you overcome them. If you followed healthy living guidelines in this life, you will have a healthy body in your next incarnation. The final stage of life is more essential than the first, because what you are at the conclusion of one life will be at the start of the next. Typically, the first half of life is wasted carelessly, in a state of bewildered stupor. Then comes love, followed by illness and old age. The war with the body begins. I coined the expression, living in patches, to describe how we must continue to patch and heal the body in order for it to function properly. For the most part, the body is a nest of issues. A candle is missing, or the tires are deflated. You have a headache, a cold, or your stomach isn't working properly. You have dental problems, and so on. There's always trouble and troubles. As a result, It is critical for your pleasure to understand that you are an immortal soul rather than a body with all of its sicknesses and pains. I do not take life seriously at all. I offer this prayer. Lord, whenever you want to take this body from the soul, it's fine with me. As long as you keep me here, that's good. But if I have to leave the body, that's also fine. It is not essential to die to be free of attachment to the body. If you communicate with God, you will realize you are already free. You aren't the body. You are the eternal spirit. Is it possible to find out what we were in our previous incarnation? By studying where we are currently, we can undoubtedly identify underlying tendencies in mind and abilities. According to Hindu scriptures, the soul can only be released after 1,000,000 years of harmonious, disease-free living. As a result, we can expect humans to change little from one life to the next. However, spiritual progress can be substantially expedited with a deliberate effort to live the right way and the guidance of a true guru. The Indian sages have analyzed humanity by dividing it into 4 basic types: the Sudras, capable of offering their service to society through physical labor; the Vaisyas, who serve with their minds, skills, agriculture, commerce, and, in general, business life; the Kshatriyas, who have administrative and executive abilities and the capacity to defend, including leaders and warriors; and the Brahmins, of a contemplative nature, who are spiritually inspired and inspiring. Sudras are those who find no greater purpose in life than to satisfy their body's needs and desires. They eat, sleep, work, reproduce, and eventually die. Today, millions of individuals live in the Sudra state, or workers who are simply concerned with their physical comfort and enjoyment. A guy in the Vaisya state who works with his mind is constantly doing something. Some members of this class are obsessed with business. They live solely to make money, which they frequently spend on sensory pleasures. The best Vaisya businessman, however, is considerably more advanced and creative in nature. The third class, Kshatriya, consists of those who, after gaining experience and inventiveness in the business world, begin to realize the meaning of life. They strive to win the struggle with the senses via self-control. The Vaishya man does not make such an effort towards inner progress. He is just concerned with making money and having children, and he rarely considers the meaning of life outside of business. However, the third class, the Kshatriyas, take life more seriously. Such a man questions himself, shouldn't I fight and destroy my bad habits? He wants to overcome his bad habits and do the right thing. The final and highest class is that of the Brahmin, which means knower of Brahma, or God. See caste in the lexicon. Analyze yourself to determine how you can improve. Analyze yourself to determine how you can improve. To summarize, there are 4 primary types of consciousness in humans. Sudra refers to the senses, while Vaishya is associated with commerce or creativity. Kshatriya refers to a warrior's aim to overcome attachment to their senses. Brahmin refers to a state of wisdom achieved by overcoming attachment to the senses and remaining cognizant of Brahma, God. Each individual belongs to one of 4 categories, which can be determined by analysis. Examine your life from childhood and identify your type among the 4. Consider whether you have lived solely for pleasure and profit, or if you have worked without thinking or acting creatively.